Hi, you're here sewing with Cody, and in today's video we are working on the Bernette B38, and we are going to be removing this stitch plate and cleaning all the lint and dust underneath it. So first thing we're going to want to do is we actually want to turn off our machine, and then we'll take this little screwdriver, which is found in our little compartment here. We're then going to undo these screws here, and once you loosen it up, you can pretty much just undo it by hand. Also, we can take off the shank with the foot just to make things a little bit easier for getting it off, getting the stitch plate off. So we can use a little screwdriver, or depending on how loose or how tight it is, you could probably loosen this big screw here and remove this shank, the foot. So now we've got the foot and the shank off, and now we can take off the stitch plate. So you just lift this off. And over time, you'll get lint and dust on the back side of the stitch plate. But in here, this is where a lot of the lint will occur. So let me adjust the camera so you can really see. So what we can do is we can take out your bobbin, which you could have done beforehand. And then here's your bobbin case. This is really the only other thing you can take out. So you want to make sure there's no lint or anything on here and get all that cleaned off. And there's a little brush in here. Here it is. So you get your little brush and clean whatever lint is in this area. So you can get all that lint out of here. And there'll be lint around the feed dogs and of course around the thread cutter. So you just want to make sure you get all that lint out of there. And remember, never, ever, ever use spray can air. So once you have it all cleaned, we can then put our bobbin case back in the machine. So if we look here, there's a little arrow right here. And there's also a little arrow right here. We want to line up those arrows. So first, we're going to slide it in here. So backside in first. And then we're going to drop this in, nice and easy. And just want to make sure that those two arrows line up and they're pointing at each other. So that means we've got it in there nice and perfect. So what we can do here is we can then put our stitch plate back on. Zoom out a little bit. Put our stitch plate back on, set it in there, and take our little screws. And we can hand tighten those screws. And then we can get our screwdriver and tighten those back up. And then we can go and put on our shank with our foot. Let's see. And that will be it. Just put the bobbin back in and we're ready to start sewing. So that is how we take off the stitch plate to get underneath there and clean the machine. And this is something you should do fairly often. Really depends on how much you sew, but it could be every few days or at least once a week if you're sewing for quite a few hours. But that's it. All right, well, happy sewing and enjoy the Bernette B38.